Okay, now it's time. Do you know what time it is? It is time for some math.
Oh shit.
We are math teachers.
It's weekend, I'm supposed to...
Yeah, so I'm not drawing a four square, but I'm drawing are these coordinates or axes here.
Yeah.
So this is easy axis. This is a technical axis. So it just means that here I have 1. So it means that first level techniques. So simple techniques are 1, and if you have highly difficult technique, it's 10. So you start, on the yellow belt. You start, or your first technique is most probably some very simple technique, and then
punch or something,
or whatever, and then extremely high kicks or jumping kicks or whatever are the technical number 10. And I think that this is people understand that, and also people understand that you start from here, and then little by little the techniques they go more and more difficult. But okay, problem number 1 is that we have a lot of technical practice, and then we have self-defense, or we have sparring sessions, and we jump immediately to full sparring. And problem number 1 is that if sparring is here and the techniques are here, so the jump is quite long. So most of the karate practice, they consist of technical parts, and then they consist of free parts. And free parts are, of course, they depend on why do you practice. So if you practice for self-defense, of course, then these are self-defense based scenarios, or Goshin Jutsu, or if you practice competition karate, then it's competition karate. But the jump from here to here, it's quite long. So that's an issue number 1, that you need to actually build something between technical level and sparring level. So that's one thing, that you need steps there, and this is kind of my focus area. I've been doing trying a lot of different kind of ways how to move from technical to sparring.
So this axis is about the freedom of what you can do.
Exactly. So you start from 1, you go to 10, and this is the degree of freedom, let's say. So degree of freedom. So if it's 10, you can do anything. And if you are like in this point, you can do anything with only these certain simple techniques, or maybe with one technique. Or so it's totally free sparring with very limited techniques. And well, what is then here is that you do sparring with totally free sparring with extremely difficult techniques. So this is that point here. Of course, the line here is that you do totally free sparring with any techniques. So then it's the whole line here. But I don't want to draw the line here. Okay, but now if I think about the if I think about the term of what could be the good term, so the level of difficulty. So in my opinion, the level of difficulty is technical difficulty multiplied with the degree of freedom. And the curve is like this. So if I take the curve where the technical difficulty is 10, so of course 1 times 10 is 10, and of course 10 times 1 is also 10. But the curve is actually like this. So the curve is like this. So if you are in this curve, then your technical difficulty is 10 on this whole curve. So like here here is maybe pi. So let's say pi times pi, it's roughly 10. So if your degree of freedom is pi, I'm a nerd.
3.1456.
I'm a nerd. So degree of freedom is pi, and technical difficulty is 5, then you are in this level. So how your practice should actually go, instead of just going to this direction or this direction, it should go that you start from here. This is the starting point. So your degree of freedom, there is no degree of freedom, and you start with very, very simple techniques. But then you actually start to go, your levels should go like this. So if you are in level 10, so your technical difficulty is degree of freedom multiplied with the technical difficulty. So this is D and this is F, and this is the T curve is here. And so instead that you go only to more technical stuff, you should at the same time increase the level of difficulty. So
a level of freedom.
Degree of freedom, and then the technical difficulty is this multiplication. So if you are in any part of this curve, it's still practicing on level 10. And then when you manage to practice in level 10, then you move to level 11, 12. So you go steps. But so we know martial artists who only go on a technical level, and they are highly skilled in here, but have they practiced anything on here? And then there are guys who just like to spar, but they are not developing technique. But I think both need to be. I think you need to increase your degree of freedom, and you need to increase your technical difficulty, and you need to combine them. And instead of practicing like this or this, you practice in all of these points in roughly in the same same curve.
Yeah, I was thinking this point here. Is there a risk of injury if you? I mean,
yes, there is. So of course you don't go through all the way. So these end parts might be you might skip. So it might start from here to here. So these points might be, both points might be very dangerous.
But then on the other hand, if you focus on just one or few very simple techniques here, but can apply it here, it could make sense to also be. If you know this really good.
Yeah.
But many times I think this is yellow belt, this is black belt. 5 dan.
Or let's say black belts are maybe in level 10, or maybe these levels are actually like belt level steps.
Yeah.
So white belt is here, and then yellow belt is here.
Yeah.
And maybe Shodan is not on level 10, and then. But for persons, I know some focus on technical and some like to just go to the fighting part. But I think both are important in this.
I'm thinking of myself, I guess, especially the beginning years, it was more about building technical skills. I'm not saying up to level 10, but somewhere here. But now I feel that I'm getting more back to the basic stuff. So the technical, the x-axis, I'm moving this way, but then again more here.
Yeah, and then of course we could draw here kind of the quality part also.
Yeah.
So then it changes, but the curve is actually still the same. So if you want to have also certain, not technical quality, but using your body type of quality there.
Yeah, nice. I couldn't come up with this myself, but I understand. I understand how you're thinking.
Yeah, and this is how I teach. So of course I teach also in a technical level. So if you have difficult techniques, you need to first teach those techniques before you can apply those techniques. So, but I try to also almost always so that from the technical part I move to here, and then normally I actually have to drop a little bit the technical difficulty. If I increase the degree of freedom, then I need to drop the technical difficulty. And if I increase the degree of freedom a lot, then most probably the techniques are quite simple. Like today in my practice, it was only backhand and low kick. What was allowed there to play with. when I increase the level of
Yeah.
degree.
Yeah.
Sorry.
And today we did go, well, maybe after this with the degree of freedom, we didn't have
Yes.
any free sparring.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I actually don't have very much free sparring in my practice, so I try to play here and find the good balance. So of course is sometimes there is also free sparring, but there's much more something between.
Yeah. And I guess the reason why you don't have much of free sparring is that safety is priority number one.
Yeah, safety for me it's always priority number one. Having fun is always the second priority, and then fighting skills or fighting spirit, they come as a third, but they can never go over these two. So we always have to stop if the having fun is in risk, or if safety is in risk. And in free sparring, it might escalate. You start.
Yeah.
But then you have a little bit, and then you give a little bit more, and then it's not anymore fun, and after that it's not anymore safe.
I mean, egos, it's easy.
Yeah. Or not even egos, but just it's very natural that if I'm punching lightly and the other one is punching a little bit more hard, I start to think that why it's me that is the punching back here.
Yeah.
I'm giving back, so it's very natural what happens. If I have free sparring, I try to keep it so that it's only 1 minute rounds, so it doesn't escalate.
Oh, that's why.
Yeah. That's one. Yeah. 3 minute round, it most probably escalates.